How did you become this wealthy? God gave me the ability to interpret dreams, and one dream interpretation in front of Pharaoh shifted everything. I went from prison clothes to palace robes in a single afternoon. But the real wealth came from the 7 years of abundance I managed wisely before anyone else even saw the famine coming. So, what's your name for the people who don't know you?
I am Joseph, son of Jacob, 11th of 12 brothers. I was once a slave and a prisoner in Egypt. Then overnight I became the second most powerful man in the world. My story didn't start with a throne, it started with a pit.
What industry did you build your wealth in? Agricultural economics and national resource management. I stored 20% of Egypt's grain during 7 years of abundance and then controlled its distribution during 7 years of famine. When you hold the food supply, every nation on earth eventually comes to your door. Is this your signet ring?
Pharaoh took his own signet ring off his finger and placed it on mine the day he appointed me over all of Egypt. That ring meant my signature carried the full authority of the throne. I went from wearing prison chains to wearing a king's seal in the same week.
How old were you when your life completely turned around? I was 17 when my brothers sold me, and 30 when I stood before Pharaoh and interpreted his dream. 13 years of slavery and prison between those two moments. Every year in that pit and that prison was building the character I would need to manage an entire nation's economy. What's the biggest driving force behind your success? I refuse to let bitterness make my decisions. I could have destroyed my brothers when I had the power to do it, but I recognized that what they meant for evil, God had already turned into a strategy. So, the moment I forgave them was the moment I was completely free from everything that tried to stop me. What's the greatest piece of advice you ever received? My father Jacob taught me that God is in the details of a life fully surrendered, even when those details look like betrayal and abandonment. So I held onto that truth in Potiphar's house, in the prison, and in the palace. God's hand never left me in any of those 3 rooms. What's your message to the younger generation? Your pit is not your ending. Every low place I was thrown into became the exact training ground for the assignment ahead of me. So, don't rush the process. Don't negotiate with bitterness. And don't despise the prison season because the palace is always on the other side of it.